So we're going to the spoilers discussion, and so we're just going to get into the spoilers, because we really couldn't talk about a lot, because really going into this movie, I mean, I didn't watch many trailers at all, but there's a lot of things we don't know. Like, basically all the demons in the movie, you really don't know what is really guaranteed other than Annabelle is in this movie.
You don't see the ram in any of the, well, at least any of the TV special shows that I saw. I didn't see the ram at all in any of the marketing, but because obviously the ram is what the Annabelle doll is possessed. Like, it's not the doll. They keep saying
it's a vessel.
It's the vessel that the ram is using.
Yeah.
And the ram is in this film, so for whoever else out there likes the ram like we do, he is in this film, and
he's battling.
He's doing some stuff in here. And
I thought his overall, like, whatever it was, a suit or visual effects on him was a lot better in this film.
It was also the way they filmed him too. Like, it was like every time you saw him, his movement was super quick, like the nun a little bit. Like, he was like boom, like his head would turn, it would zoom in, like really cool stuff. Like, that's why this thing's so scary. The camera never sits on him for too long, which is why like I want to get this like huge shot of him, like which makes sense. I guess maybe that's why I didn't like the nun as much, because they showed her too much.
Yeah, true.
And that would maybe take away. But there were some really cool shots, and I honestly missed one of the scenes of the ram.
Yeah.
Let's talk about.
I might as well say.
Let's talk about, since the ram is the main character of this film. That's what Annabelle is.
Yeah. So basically, the daughter of
Judy.
Ed and Lorraine Warren, Judy's in the room, and there's a doll. So she's sleeping, and then her leg gets pulled, just like the original Conjuring, and then the doll's there, flips that light over, and the light is shining in a different color, gets revealed, and that was honestly one of the coolest scenes, is showing that you saw the doll on the ground, and its shadow was on the ground. Then each color change, it went from the doll to the little girl, and then to the actual girl from Annabelle Creation who was in the cult, and then you see the actual ram, and then you see him pop up. That was a really cool execution of the light going around, and that was the first time you actually see the ram.
Did you mention how that was the trailer shot? Before that, like the cover scene. Remember the scene?
Oh,
scene
yeah.
And they also,
that's it.
You said that how they changed it a little bit. Like,
that's
it was
true.
different from the trailer, which is really good marketing. Because I was like relaxed, I'm like, I know what this scene is, and then they actually did kind of change it up a little bit.
Yeah, that was cool. Yeah, you saw like the blanket lift up a lot.
Yeah, that was.
You saw the doll laying down, and then so it's like someone else under there.
Yeah, that's true. And also, that's the scene. Actually, I missed the ram's like actual reveal. You see him in the shadow, like you said, they form into the shadow. Then I looked at Kenny the second that you saw him in the shadow, and the second I looked, apparently the ram's head was right there.
Yeah.
And the second I turned to the camera, the screen, it was like I saw him and it was gone. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Basically, I mean, I just looked up and he just went right to her face and it was gone.
Yeah, which honestly it wasn't that long. And then the next time you see the ram is at the end, after they get the, like, we'll talk about this too. They get the key. No. They get Annabelle, the doll, and Judy's running with it to get to the crate. What is it called? The flipping glass box that they keep her in.
Yeah.
And she opens it, and you think, oh, we're to put him in there. And the second that she starts to open it, you see the arm and hand of the ram who closed it shut. And then they show him like right there, and then he basically grabs her by the neck and pushes her up against the glass, and some really cool shots of the ram. It's constant. It's never still on him too much.
Yeah.
And he starts to it's a new thing in any of the movies. He starts to suck the face.
It must have been the
ghost
soul.
face off. Yeah, the soul, I guess, off from her face into his.
It's a different imagery we've never seen in any.
And then you see Judy grab the cross or a cross near it, puts it right on the face of the ram, which. Luckily, the cross works here. It didn't work the last time. Maybe it's because it was touching him.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I guess let's just get into this scene too at the end, because this is one of the things I didn't like about the ending was, all of a sudden, what's their names? The two Mary Ellen and Daniela come in. The babysitter and her friend come running in. They help. Something happens to where. The ram falls back, and they're all pushing against the glass. No, that's right. They go back. She puts the doll into the glass vase, whatever that flipping thing's called.
They have to shut it and lock it.
And they're pushing to shut it closed, and you see the ram coming at one side, and then you see the ferryman in the middle, the one with the coins over his eyes.
Scarecrow.
And Hey, are you serious?
That's what I saw. I'm saying.
It's not a scarecrow.
I saw.
But either way, there's a ram on one side, freaking ferryman in the middle,
Yeah,
and then you got the. Yeah, let me just describe this.
Because I'm if people actually think it's this, if people know what they're talking about, then
I've not heard one person call scarecrow.
He looks like a
just
scarecrow.
let me call what his name is. So there's the ram on one side and the ferryman in the middle,
Not really.
or whoever was in the middle is wherever they were at. Then there was the night thing, weird night thing with the whatever that thing was.
The dress girl on the left.
No, I'm saying there was that night guy in that room too. You
I
saw
think
him
he was
there
stable
too.
there though.
Well, he was moving around at one point.
Yeah, but
and then there was also the bridesmaid, the person with the bride's gown on, a wedding gown on, and basically, and there was all closing in on the.
Goodness.
They're all closing in
Freddy.
on the girls as they're trying to close this thing shut, and I'm like, here we go. I want to see like what Joe was saying, an Avengers shot of a circle shot of them all sitting next to each other, and then all of a sudden they close it and then they're just gone. And I was like,
only Judy knew how to fight this. So.
Yeah, but I just think that just because that thing was closed, I was like, really? They're all just gone now?
It was kind of convenient that they all just went away with that. That was a little convenient.
I thought
it's not like they're not all just. Yeah, I agree. That doesn't really make any sense.
I thought the glass was gonna break and she was gonna fly out, everything was gonna come back, and something was gonna happen, but nothing happened.
But no, that was the thing that I wanted to say. Basically, my favorite parts about the movie was who I thought was the scarecrow, because you see basically it looks like a scarecrow. What else am I supposed to call it?
The face, it has no nose, so I agree with that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna call it a scarecrow because that's what it looks like, unless we come up with a better name.
No, because his actual name is the ferryman. That's what he's called.
Who?
How many times they say the ferryman, the ferryman?
Then how do you explain the guy helping her, leading her to the fucking Annabelle, Jake?
No, I do know who that is. That was remember they're looking at the statue.
Yes,
that was him.
Okay.
But
So is that not the ferryman?
No, he was good. I don't know who. He was just a spirit that was following her around. Yes, because he knew that she could see her.
What did the ferryman look like?
That wasn't the ferryman. That was just that old man. She
so
saw.
What did the ferryman
Speaking
look
of that,
like?
I'll get to that next. But what?
So what did the ferryman look like? Is what I'm trying to figure out.
I'll look it up right now. Let's look this up.
Do you
pay the toll or he steals your soul. You pay the tolls or he steals your soul.
Steals your soul?
Steals your soul.
Souls your soul? Yeah, that's him! Well, that's what I was calling the scarecrow, so. But you really don't see him when.
This.
So that's what I was describing. There's the shot where the babysitter is going with the flashlight, and you see the two coins, which are the eyes, and you see the coins so many times that look like eyes, and they're really high up on the ceiling, and you think it's there. And she shines the flashlight. She shines the flashlight, and then they drop to the ground, and that was a good way of being able to combat the thing. It wasn't just an absolute slaughter fest of just knocking people around like the Ram and Annabelle creation. It's she could shine the light and she was able to fight back in that way. There's a lot of good scenes to that.
People aren't giving this. Well, Chris isn't giving this movie credit for having some original things. That's new. I've never seen that before. The eyes like that, glowing like that. Up high on the.
I've never seen two coins float in the air.
I've never seen that. I've never seen that. There was also some getting into that old man character. We don't really know his name. He was just kind of there really wasn't a great explanation of what he was doing. He never spoke. They never even really addressed it. The only thing that they ever addressed it with was they would have Judy look at it weird. You saw him once in the schoolyard just standing there. Obviously no one else could see him. You saw him also at a really creepy scene. It's creepier the more I think about it. When she's near her locker with her babysitter, and you see him at the end of the hallway, then all of a sudden he's just gone, and then as they're walking in the same shot, I'm like, okay, I thought it was gonna make a scene like the It trailer where It Chapter 2 where she peeks around the corner, he was gonna do that, but instead they're walking down the steps of the school and he's just right there with no beat drop at all, which is what's even creepier.
I thought the scariest scene with him was at the end though.
And that was creepy too. Every scene with him on screen was creepy.
Yeah, the scene at the end where she's about to go downstairs and she goes and he's just standing there and there's no sounds, no nothing. But that was the other thing though about the coins with the ferryman is she's walking through that dark area with a lantern and you just see the eyes or you just see the two coins behind her, which is just such a great creative idea that I've never seen in any other movie.
No.
And it was so great because you would see the eyes like something was there, and then you'd see, and it was such a creepy little way of looking like he's there, then he's not. And it That's just something that there was no loud thing in your face saying, like, making it scary just because of the noise. It was just scary to look at.
The TV, I didn't really know.
Oh, that was actually good.
It was creepy, but I didn't really know what it was doing. Was it just like, was it the future a little bit? Because remember, she would do this thing on the screen, and then 2 seconds later, she'd do it in real life. But then
Except for the bloody. You know?
What was up with? There was a scene where it goes back in there, and she was dead. I'm like, oh, what is that predicting the future? She's gonna be dead in a few seconds. But then that didn't really make sense exactly.
No, it didn't. But that
it was just creepy. It was still creepy, but I was like, so what? Wait, is that what's going on, or is that what's going to happen? That never happens.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. I was predicting the future, but I thought they really lost an opportunity there. They could have had something run at the person in the TV, or stand behind the person in the TV. I was for sure that was going to happen, but that didn't happen.
Or have her face like disform as she's like, or like it smiles but she doesn't look, or something like that.
That would have been
cool.
cool.
Stuff like there was things that they could have made this movie even better than it was, which it was still good, but it could have been great. Which is the problem. That's what I was going to talk about too. Is there's the upper tier of the Conjuring universe, there's the middle tier, and there's the lower tier. The upper tier, the 2 Conjuring films, Annabelle Creation. The middle tier, The Nun, The Curse of La Llorona, and this one, Annabelle Comes Home. And then the bottom tier, Annabelle. So
I mean, but that's the thing. That TV. When I saw you saw her like bloody and laughing and like going crazy in the TV, I was for sure. I'm like, she's done. But then it was the TV only predicted a future like 5 seconds. So I'm like, something's gonna have to happen like right now. So then after it's 5 seconds, I'm like, that's too far.
I thought she was done for in a couple of scenes. This Danielle character, hers. The first time she finally thinks she sees her dad, which obviously it's not her dad. It's a spirit using her dad's form. He plays the piano, but then he said, "This is your fault." And there's like a hole in his head or something, like she got shot or something. That's what I thought.
It must have been the bloody face from the car accident.
Maybe. Because I never even heard how he died. Is that how he died? I must have missed that. But then
yes, he must have gone there.
But then he's like chasing her to the door, and she's like pounding the door to get out. Like, oh, she just got killed. But then she's still in there. So that's why the demon
for a while.
He must have just chased her and then just stopped and didn't even like kill her.
Which that's the thing. That's one complaint I have about the movie. There's some times where like, literally the babysitter is like pounding on the door right here, and a girl is sleeping right there. And I'm like, I don't know how thick those doors are, but just try to sleep in a bed like 10 feet away from the door.
It probably wasn't that. It probably
was pounding on her door.
No, yeah, but the demon could have controlled that and made the door like soundproof or something, like to where they couldn't actually hear it. I mean, think about it.
Well, I don't know about that ability.
They called Lorraine Warren, and the demon was able to control the phones.
Well, that's different though.
No,
I mean, pretending to be someone.
But
Ram
can do whatever he wants. He could have easily just.
Well, they don't make doors soundproof.
The Ram made
the
Ram made the hallway expand in Annabelle Creation. Remember that?
What was that?
Remember she's like running down the hallway and it just keeps getting further and further, like she can't get to the door with the girl with the crutches.
I don't remember that.
They can play with dimensions. I mean, they can do
saying,
whatever if they want to do.
Okay, that makes. I'll have to check back to that.
So that totally makes sense.
Yeah, well, but I think it doesn't totally make sense because she's
easily.
literally like 10 feet away.
It doesn't matter. The demon could have made that 20 miles away.
The phone thing was very shocking. I'm glad you brought that up because that was a really good scene where she's talking to her and she's like, "Give it to Annabelle." Or give the phone to Annabelle. I thought that was really good scene too.
Can you pass the phone to Annabelle?
Oh yeah, sure. Here. Hey, Annabelle, what's going on? We don't want Annabelle there. We don't want her around the stuff.
I heard that the grapevines that Annabelle has been playing around with your daughter, and there's also so in my opinion the Ram obviously was exceptional. The Ferryman was good. There was some cool demons. The Ram was really great again, like he always is. The Ferryman was put in a pretty good performance. I thought he was a really good demon addition to this universe.
That was the best one.
But then the demons then obviously, I can't really call the TV or that monkey thing like a demon because they didn't really do much besides like what they were.
It was a creepy little scene with that monkey.
The monkey was creepy and the TV was creepy, but it wasn't like that was a demon. Like,
no.
Like there was obviously it was haunted.
Well, it was.
But like I'm not gonna count those as demons because they never saw a form of it.
Obviously a monkey just doing one smile isn't gonna be anything.
So that's why the two great demons out of this universe was not really added. The Ram was already in it. So the one demon that was great, that was added greatly in this universe was the Ferryman. I liked his backstory. That little like video about the little kid saying, "If like I just butchered before, if you don't pay the toll, he steals your soul." I'm not gonna say it once. And
I definitely. I mean, I think the Ram was good in this film, but I really think you don't get a whole lot of footage of him.
You
and
don't.
I think definitely the scenes where the coin's looking like the eyes of the fairy tale man, whatever his name is. Ferryman. And I really think those were the best because of how subtle they were.
But those were the best. Let's get to the two, in my opinion, the two demons that were not the best in this film.
Very poorly executed.
The one before we get to the one that was really poorly executed was the bride one. For me personally,
I thought it was good.
It was not as good as I was hoping, and really it was okay. But the reason why it was okay is because they just had a movie with a demon, with a bride, with a wedding gown that did it much better. So, and the fact that there was
just came out.
And the face to this thing wasn't that. It was just standard. Like, it wasn't like it needs to be unique. Like, the fact that we just had a really creepy La Llorona movie, this thing needed to have like a deformed face or like something like red eyes or something like crazy. Because like you just get this scene where like she's in the hallway or she's like she chases her down, and then she also comes back and kills. Or no, they do that throw up scene where she throws up into Daniela's mouth like they always do most of these films, and it just wasn't like it. I just feel like it didn't add much to the universe because like it's just another wedding. Like the director
It is
said,
true. I don't know why they did that.
No, the director's reasoning in an interview was just we thought it was just creepy to have a thing in a wedding gown, that's true, but don't just do it for the heck of it. Like why not just have
a mammoth?
Why not just have La Llorona?
Why not just make it La Llorona?
If La Llorona's in this universe, just have her be there. I'm sure they have some kind of artifact from that story. Why not just have the behemoth walk in to start tearing stuff apart? But
yeah, that is true. I don't know. I thought there was a great scene though. The scene where she's outside and then she goes into the mirror and then goes.
The nun.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
That was cool.
No,
it was just like the nun.
That was really cool. It was. That is true. It did kind of.
It's a callback.
I don't think it copied it. It was definitely interesting though. I loved that I went through the mirror, the window, then the mirror, then the other mirror, the small mirror, then went in the room. But yeah, it is way too similar. I mean, La Llorona is literally just has a dress on, so it's basically exactly that, except
but not as
had
good.
A knife.
Yeah, but it's just not as good as. But then you find out that it's not even a demon because then Danielle's wearing that.
No, it possessed her. Then they got it out of her.
The gown.
So it went somewhere, but then
and that happened because Judy turned on the projector on her face with. So Ed Warren was still. I keep calling him Ed Lorraine. That's what the two first names. Ed Warren is like doing the possession of or doing the exorcism of another person, but it still worked on her, which is kind of amazing.
That was cool.
He was still able to do it over. A recording that wasn't even live.
It's mainly because the cross was literally projected on her. That was
pretty lucky.
Cool.
But
well, he was lucky they had the footage, but.
But then so fine. The bride. I don't know the name of this person, but the wedding dress demon was okay to me. But then the one that really flopped for me was the Hellhound because
I hyped it up.
Looked really cool. It was a cool idea. I thought it looked like a werewolf. And all of a sudden, the first time you see this thing, you really don't even hear much about it. Besides the fact you just see you see the name of it on like a box or a piece of paper, like the files of it, which that's probably cooler than the actual demon himself.
Exactly, I got way too excited.
You see him, so you see Bob go outside, and this is the first time you see it in a mist area. This would be an awesome scene, really cool scene. And all of a sudden, you see this CGI wolf face. It looked really, to me, maybe you didn't feel the same way. It looked just like the face of the werewolf in Goosebumps, in my opinion, which is not good for this film. And then you see him again. There was a decently cool scene where the Judy's in the car, and you see him, his like hind legs like jump onto the car, and like the tearing through the claws on the top was cool. But then you don't really see him again, and then he
eats a chicken.
Yeah, he eats a chicken and makes the chicken or make a sound. And
I don't know how that's possible.
And then just to top it off, Judy gets out of the car, and Bob comes in and hits it with a guitar, and it turns him into like this, like a ghost.
He turns into dust, and it's like it turned into the flipping Shazam thing. So it's like, what is this? It's a demon. It's not a flipping Shazam thing.
Yeah, and the fact that a just normal guitar can destroy any demon is very
but
not destroy, but just even defected at all. Like
you don't want to attack demons with inanimate objects.
It could be like if you try to hit the nun with a guitar, she would just be like. Just like stop it, like Hella with this thing here. She'd be like, that'd be cool to do that. But seriously, like the Hellhound was a major disappointment in my opinion.
I agree.
And hopefully,
I agree.
if Conjuring 3 deals with werewolves, we get just do prosthetics. I mean, there's very scary costumes of werewolves that, I mean, obviously you can have some special effects, but you don't need completely 100% CGI werewolf. Like, it's ridiculous. But yeah, so that was definitely not good for me.
That does make me nervous for the next Conjuring where they're doing
If that's
it.
I thought they
Makes me nervous, but I mean, I'll give him. Obviously, I'll give him a chance. But
yeah.
I mean, I definitely did hype up that werewolf a lot more when I saw it in the picture in the movie, and I was just waiting. I was like, all right, when's it coming in?
The thing I want to really talk about was they really set this film up good in the beginning because they showed how Annabelle is basically the ram inside of Annabelle. Let's call it's Annabelle. That's what you think of him, even though it's the ram. The ram's power in Annabelle is so strong that it works as like a beacon basically for these other spirits because
like King Ghidorah.
They're basically I guess sort of.
It's a beacon to all of them, just like King Ghidorah.
Yeah. So basically, their car breaks down in the middle of a misty road with a graveyard next to him, and she looks over and all these bad or good spirit, I guess bad. All these bad spirits are just standing there in a creepy shot into the graveyard, and they throw Ed Warren onto the ground, and that just shows that Annabelle outside of an enclosed area,
it's a force.
Is such it draws everything to it. That's why these demons in this movie, right when she's out, all those things in that artifact room immediately were able to come to him to follow him for role, which was they said that
like
perfectly because you saw that, and then they put him in the case, and then that makes sense. Annabelle comes out, the ram's free, all these other spirits go to him that they work with him. There was some stuff to enjoy. Obviously, we gave it good scores. I gave it 7.5, which is way above average for me. It's not like I said, it's not in the upper tier of this universe. It's in the middle tier, just like these last two films that came out. Okay, let us know down in the comments what you guys thought of this movie. It's pretty late, so we may have forgot a couple of things here or there, but I think we covered the majority of this movie. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.